Welcome to my third video on Cisco IOS command automation. In this video we're going to look at managing the system clock. My previous two videos are here up on YouTube. They might be worth a watch if this video is using concepts which you're not familiar with. I do recommend a watch, and I'll have feedback as well. Okay, let's dive straight in. I'm going to make use of yet another expect script which I've written called multi.exp, and what this script allows you to do is log into multiple routers, one after the other, or switches, and issue Cisco commands to them. The core of the script is a file which drives it all. In this case I've called it Cisco hosts, and I have names of hosts and then the credentials which will allow me to log in. Because all these 10 Cisco switches have the same login credentials, I only have to specify them once, and then each subsequent one just picks up the login credentials of the first one named in this file. Now we need to run a script against these, and I've got one called show clock because we're interested in clocks today. And don't worry too much about the shell syntax in here, but the important thing is that we're using this Cisco commands.expect script which appears in the previous two videos which I've done, with the arguments that it finds in this file to log in, to then run a file that's got Cisco IOS commands in it. So if we just have a look at show clock as well, we've then let's get the right command. That's simply got the single line show clock, that IOS command. So if we run it all together now, so we run the multi-script, which needs the host file name, which is the Cisco hosts, and then we also need to tell it the script to run. Now this logs into each of the switches and runs the show clock command and extracts the resulting date and time. Now we can see that some of these haven't been set correctly. We've got one here that's got date in 2017, others wrong month, some are today's date but the time isn't exactly right on them. Now I still have to look at all of those dates and work out whether they're actually correct or not, and then if they're not correct, actually do something about it. So wouldn't it be great if there would be a way for it to tell me that actually that this date and time looks like there's something wrong with it? Well, by using a different script which I've written, which is a bit more complicated, called check clock. Check clock does pretty much the same thing, but instead of just displaying the date, we'll also examine the date and time and let me know if there's anything untoward about it. So let's run this. We get slightly more output this time. It logs in, and each time it displays the switch name and the current date and time on it, and then it gives me some information about it. So here it's telling me that this clock is about 4 seconds ahead, but that's within the threshold of 30 seconds. I'm not really worried. A clock that's accurate to 4 seconds, that's actually pretty good. But the second one, this has got the wrong year on it, so that is clearly an error. Again, the wrong month. This one's got the wrong day on it. Some are ahead by about 45. This one's ahead by 45 seconds, so that's obviously an issue as well. Now, using a bit of Linux magic, I can just run that command again and just ask it to show me all the lines that have got the word error in it. And here it tells us these are really the ones that I've got to go and basically do something about. Now I could log into each switch and set the date and time manually, but why do that if the whole point of this is automation, software automation? So I've actually got a script called set clock, and what set clock will do is it will work out the date and time now. It will log into each of the routers and it will set the date and time to be correct. So let's run that. We can see it logging in to each one and running you can see it running that's the key command there which it's running. So then if I now run the check clock script again against each of them, it's telling me that the time is actually correct, or it's a couple of behind by 1 second. There's a little bit of latency when you log in. You can basically be 1 or 2 seconds out depending on how long it takes you to actually log into each one, but that's way better than being out by a year or a month or a day. So that's the way to actually get it reset. So that's a very quick use of the Cisco command automation, IOS command automation, allowing you to solve a problem, i.e. clocks not being correct. Now The more experienced network administrators watching this will be saying, just use NTP. Nobody sets their clocks like this. Granted, I completely agree, that's using NTP is definitely the way to do it. However, even if you have an environment that uses NTP exclusively, this check clock script will be very useful for you, because you can log into all of your routers, and if everything's okay, all of your routers will have near perfect time on them because they're running NTP. Any that report back that have drifted out or have gone wrong are definitely cause for concern, because maybe the NTP configuration has been corrupted or changed. So this is a way to basically check and monitor for that. So it's still useful even if you're using NTP, which you should be. This is still a useful tool which you could deploy. And again, for demonstration purposes, this was more to show how multiple switches can be managed very quickly, and how it can do something useful rather than just have some abstract way of showing you I can log in. Here's something useful which you can do, or at least I hope you found it useful. If you're interested in any of the scripts, please get in touch. That's my email address there, and I'd love to hear from you. And once again, thank you for watching.